Hi, guys. My name is Bianca Garibaldi. It's a pleasure to be here. First, I'm gonna say about my background. I was okay. I'm visible and audible. I was a deputy judge in Brazil for 12 years. Work in many different projects close to the federal police and state police to help to make profiles for pedophiles and abusers. I have a project too in Brazil when I went to schools to specialize the teachers to know about the behavior for children who suffer abuse, physical abuse, psychological abuse, sexual abuse. In the last 8 years, I live in Ireland. I work in different companies as Google, Meta, Airbnb, Pinkerton, and in the last 5 years, I work more in OSINT. But because my background, it's something I want to talk with you guys today is to align the techniques for OSINT, but at the same time, how important it's the geopolitical situation when we start an investigation. I bring some examples for my previous case and some companies. And I want to talk and I want to pass you something new. I think it's very important for people who work with OSINT, not just to know about techniques, but understand OSINT, it's about knowledge too. Okay, I go start to share my screen to show my material. Okay. Everyone is seeing my screen? I think so. Okay. Here's a previous presentation about myself, but I already talked with you guys about my background. Have my email if you have any question, if you want any advice about this topic, geopolitical situation, and OSINT. And my LinkedIn, if you want to connect with me, I'm very active in LinkedIn, okay? First, why geopolitical matters in OSINT, okay? OSINT don't exist in a vacuum. Every investigation happens with a geopolitical context. A gesture, symbol, or word can have a completely different means depending on the country or culture. Understanding the social and political landscape prevents misinterpretations that can be lead to fatal consequence. In my professional life, I always work with OSINT without have all the things we have now. In my beginning, our open source was the witness, the interrogation for the crimes, and sometimes doesn't matter. It's not just the country be different. Sometimes, like I'm from Brazil, we have a lot of different for north and south. This is very important when we start to doing any investigations, okay? I bring this case from Brazil, okay? I think it was about 8-9 years ago. Start happening these type of things in Brazil. Adolescents and tourists killed after making hand gestures linked to criminal factions. In Brazil, certain hand signs are directly associated with violent gangs. Tourists and young people have unknowingly used these gestures in photos triggering fatal consequences. For investigators, this highlights the need to understand local criminal dynamics when analyze visual or social media content. I bring this case because happened the time I work in a company here. When we start investigation, our team, OSINT team, a case when one person was killed, and the time she's in vacations in Brazil. Nobody know really about this, and because I have this desire to always know about the situation and the countries I go make any investigations until today, I start to look at something like, oh, what does it mean, these hands and these pictures? Why they put in the social media? And then I'm starting some websites, news, and I discovered these things. Was many cases happened in Brazil when tourists and adolescents be killed for use the hands. Maybe in other countries like Ireland, US, these don't happen. But because I have this insight to look more, to analyze more, to really try understand the whole picture, I discovered this situation. It's why sometimes when you start to digging in some case, it's very important to know. And to know about, I think a very good tip is to make a list about websites, legal websites, news websites, websites for court. Try to get some situations in the state or the country. This was a case very serious. Now we have in Brazil almost the same situation, but for brands. Like if they use some brands like Nike, it's more close some people for Red Command or PCC, because we have these two big organizations in Brazil. It's why it's so important when you go start to dig in one investigation to know about the country. Not the things you see in social media, not the things in other tools, but to really search about. The other case I want to bring you guys, it's the case I have now in my job, was a case from United States when we need to start to investigate some case, to take a decision to close the account for the user and in the social media. This case was about child exploitation, and the pedophiles, many people don't know, but they use some symbols when they want to identify the material for other pedophiles. Sometimes it's emojis, sometimes it's hashtags, sometimes it's attacks. These last phenomenon start to happen, I think it was about 1 month ago. They start to put in the middle the hashtag something very suspicious. In my team have people who don't know about Epstein files. And they really pass for the cases and say, oh, we don't see anything wrong. The hashtags are very normal. And was why I see another very good example, how important when you work at OSINT, you know about this geopolitical situation. In this case, in the middle, they start to put in other things to make other pedophiles to know about the material. They share like links or pictures. We call this phenomenon hashtag hijacking. It's put in the middle, the legitimate content, something very abused, to help to make the machine don't know it's something wrong. It's why it's so important the human person in the case to know about. Like I put in here, without awareness of regional terminology and investigator patterns, such signals can go unnoticed. Other thing I think it's very important here, it's about the terminology. I'm from a country, we have a lot of different ways to talk about the different things. Brazil is too big, have many different accents in the country, but at the same time have different means for the things. Some cases I help my teammates because when they saw something and they translate, they really don't know what does it mean. I think it's a very important to, when you go work in a case as OSINT investigator, to know these type the difference about terminology in the country. You start to look in the case. This make a lot because make you understand more the picture, more about the case. Here, it's why I think it's so important intersection of OSINT and geopolitical. Political instability shapes online narratives. We came from different countries when we have a political situations very distinct. And I think when you go to look in some cases, you really need to know about the political situation. Why this is so important? Because shape some situations, shape the law, shape the decisions in the court, shape the way the people behave in the country. Disinformation campaigns exploit cultural divides. We use a lot social media sometimes to build our case in OSINT. It's why it's so important not just to use the news, the traditional news, but get from different perspective for other sites with not so traditional media. It's a very important, really make like when you go start a case, to know about the country, to know about the political situation, because for sure, go make a lot of difference in the end when you need to take a decision, the information you go put in a report. Another advice I give to you guys, when you put in something, any information and report, bring more than one source. Always put in the link and always try to discover if that source is really something to be accurate about the information. They really have this falling desire to be trustful in the information. Another thing is crime trends often mirror local economic and social crisis. It's like the example I bring to you today from Brazil. The hands, the brands, maybe we have some case from US different. A case now I'm start to help investigate. It's here in European Union when they start to bring some young people from Africa to use these people and drugs distribution. It's many people are suffer violence because of this. It's why it's so important to really deep the investigations and these crime trends. What's gonna happen if you don't use this? Maybe you're gonna give a wrong or superficial information in the report about the investigation. Always understanding where and why. Give us deep to what we find online. Applying geopolitical awareness and OSINT. Why is so important? And how is the practical strategies to do it? Context research. Study local conflicts, factions, and political power structures. This is so important because the context for the country, for the state, for the city, it's very, very important sometimes for the decision, the person who go receive the report and for you, or if you need to do the decision, why is so important understand. Always try to make like a file with this type of information, use every day to learn more about different cultures, different countries, and make a notes, put in the file the things like I think it's very important to know the most dangerous organizations in the countries when you go to do any investigations. Cross-reference sources, use regional media, NGO reports, and language-specific data. Like not just the traditional media, but try to get some YouTube channels, podcast, everything who really have some really awareness about the situation, who really try to be very trustful about the information. Take a notes, make a file, like I say, about this reference, this resource you use. Map risk indicators. Identify violence, censorship, and migration patterns. This is very important to know about the case in the different places. To know if you have something in the government try to censorship someone or some channel. These are all informations very important in any investigations, because go to build a very, very good report. Avoid assumptions. What looks innocent in one region maybe be a deadly symbol in other. Like the case I bring with the hands in Brazil. Maybe if you go like Argentina, it's different. Or you go to Chile, you go to Greece, maybe they don't have these. Maybe they have another thing. It's why it's so important to check, to know, to look sometimes like why type the case go to the media now. Try to find with the very good websites what is going to happen in the Libya now, or China, in the court, in the law. It's very important to know these informations. The investigator's responsibility. Misinterpretation can endanger victims or compromise justice. Why is so important to check? Why is so important to know? Because my background, and because many times in my life I need to decide about to send someone to jail or not, or give some decisions very quickly, I always try to get the more and accurate information to take any decision. Why is so important to know the things when you go? Because OSINT, like I say, it's not just to use tools, but to have the technology for the case. OSINT analysts must understand people, cultures, and systems of power, not just the data. Data is very important, I know, but have the data, it's not just numbers or text or material you read. It's about really understand the situations. Many cases I have in the last years working big techs is sometimes people just see paper, they just see the data. They really don't go beyond this. And this is very dangerous when you need to take any decision. Integrate geopolitical literacy, make investigations more human and precise. This is why I want to talk with you today about something. Sometimes people don't talk a lot when we have these events and OSINT. It's why it's so important to make like a behavior analysis of the situation. Try to put in yourself in the shoes the person in the situation. Really try to dig very deep about the behavior. I think it is sometimes it's very important to have like a real situation, real investigations. I think this is very important for us. I always advise people who work in OSINT to do something. We have a lot of resource to do a course about behavior analysis, forensic psychology, criminology. I think this is very important. You don't need to make a master, anything like that, but I think it's a very important, you know, about how to understand all the situation, how it's important to have the desire to really pass just for the data we have in front of us. It's why it's so important to have the ability to look more, to search more. In OSINT, every clue is connected to our world beyond the screen. Understand that word, it's not option, it's our ethical duty. This is my message for you today. I make a very quickly presentation because I really want to talk more. If you have any questions about the things I bring to you, I think it's important, like I say, if you want to connect with me, to have like a file to organize not just the part for the report, but the part you have the knowledge about everything. Make like different files for different countries, for different patterns for crimes. Try understand the geopolitical situation for the things you're gonna work. It's a very important. Make for sure you sleep more aware, you make a better decision. I go stop here and I'm gonna see if you have any questions or any. I think it's a very important. I have a question here. Trump. Oh, okay. Help people overcome Trump. Okay. I think it's important to know about the geopolitical situation and all the cases. Like I don't came here to talk exactly about political position, but I think it's important to know about the geopolitical situations because, like, if you go investigate like a case like U.S., if you're gonna investigate a case who happened in California and one case who happened in Florida, we have a huge difference. Legislation, the way they solve the things, the news, the government, like it's more Democrat part or Republican part. I think it's a very important to understand this. Like I came from a very big country. We are so different, so different. It's why sometimes you need to search about the situation, because if I decide something for the North, the Brazil, like I decide for the South, will be unfair, because in Brazil we have so many differences. Here in European countries, we have a very different culture for Portugal, Germany, and Ireland. It's why it's so important to understand the geopolitical situation, the economic situation in the country. I think I answered the first one. Let me see other. How do you know confine operation across border? I think it's a very important to have the metrics and the visualization too. The most important when you have operations is to understand the conflict zones. And sometimes, okay, I really want to tell you guys, because I came from the court side, we don't have all the picture. Why it's so important sometimes? You go to the metric, but at the same time, check the news, check the things gonna happen in court, in the law, in the government, because we don't have like the normal data all the time about the conflicts and everything. And always look for the country who happened the case and the countries close when happened the case, because everything changed very fast. And I hope, John, I answered. I think you need look the metric information, but the visualizations, it's a very important too. Like I say, sometimes we don't have the accurate data from government, police, and anything. We need to look more in news and other type of data. Oh, okay. Another thing, I think, Mary, great question. Like I say, I'm very active in my LinkedIn, and something I go publish in some days, it's about the bias. It's impossible don't have bias. All ours have a bias, because bias, it's about our creation, the all history you have until today. The most important thing, it's overcome the bias when you go to look a case. Okay, don't give a personal opinion, but it's impossible don't have the personal opinion. Okay, I say, because I was a judge, sometimes I have my feeling for something, but I look for the proofs to decide. It's not about the things I think, it's about the things I see in the cases. It's important to have a bias. Like I say, it's about our construction like human beings, our history, the way we were raised, the country we came. But when you go to make any OSINT case as investigator, bring the information, justify your decision with the things you have, the proofs you have, the material you have. It's why I always say it's so important to know more than just the tools. It's important to have a knowledge about the place you go investigate, about the people you go investigate. You need to have more than just the things here. You need to use all the things you have. You need to make a very good between the things you find and the reason and the things you want to put in the paper. Bias is something it's possible we don't have, but the most important, it's overcome our bias when we go to decide something. Okay. Maximiliano, good question. Something like I say, good techniques, I go advise you guys to have, like, to anticipate geopolitical situations, is always take a time, 1 hour a week, always go and try to find in Google and YouTube, try to find the news about the place. I have my source already. I make a list, the place I go, but go every time in a week, try to find things. Put in the countries. How is the situation in Africa now? How is the situation in Canada now? Australia? And try to make like a profile for the countries. Try to make like a file, real file about Australia, the economic situation there now, the political situation. Take every week. I know sometimes we have a lot of things to do, but I think it's important to know. To anticipate, it's always acknowledge. To anticipate everything, it's to make like every week a time to check informations, to check media channels. We have a lot of podcasts, YouTube channels, other source when we make like these profiles for the regions, I think it's a very good for us. When you go and say, oh, I go have a case today in Italy, and you go there and check, oh, I see Italy start have some change in the law, immigration law. You already put it there. You know, like my advice, 1 hour a week, 2 hours if it's possible, go and check these events in the different countries. Put in the Google, what happened this week? What was the trend, criminal trend? What happened? Last month. Make this exercise every week and create a profile. This is gonna help you when the case came to know about the situation in the country. It's not possible we know about everything, but it's possible for us have some idea, prevent ideas to something gonna happen. Do you believe that link events to cyber? Oh, for sure, for sure. Like, I'm not IT person, guys. I need to tell you was why I'm study law, and then I make my post-graduation in forensic psychology, and I have diploma in behavioral analysis. I'm not so IT person, but I think everything is linked. It's why I think it's so important to have these files. Like, you know, some cyber attack in some country, take a note. Take the modus operandi and the case. You know, maybe and someday something gonna happen. We always have link with something. You know, I think it's why it's so important. If you see something in the news like, oh, I don't know, like they're gonna change a law. Why they gonna change a law? I came from this side. I know when they go do something, it's because something it's happened. Take a note. Oh, they go change the law. Like we have some laws now about the age for teenagers and children and the social media side. Why this gonna happen? Why they start to push in this law now? These laws now. You know, try to make this exercise. Everything you saw something in the news, take a note, search about, make a file. Nothing happened without a reason. And because we work with the events, laws, situations, patterns, it's very important for us to know. The tools I use, it's like I make a list, very old school, guys. I make a list for the countries. I put in the podcast, the channels I go, the traditional media websites, some influencers who talk about political situation. I follow in Instagram. I follow in different platforms, and I go make my data bank. You know, I go put in there. Very simple. Like a make a profile, like we make profile for people sometimes. Make a profile for countries, make for profile for regions if you don't have a time to go and check each country. If you want to send to me email, I pass the way I follow my investigations. But like I say, I'm very old school, guys. I'm not IT person. It's why I'm very for notes and files, very old school. Oh, I think Sarat. I hope to say your name right. Okay, guys. It's amazing your knowledge. And to start OSINT, I go to give you advice. Start to pick some cases, you know, like exercise, like I give for my students in the college. Get a case, like a criminal case or civil case you saw in the media, and then you start to build a report. This is a way I think it's very good for people who want to start to doing OSINT, because you start to discover the source you need to go. pick any case in the media and start to make a report about that case, about the people involved, about the country. It's the way to exercise the curiosity we need to have in OSINT. And with your background, I think you get very fast. Okay. How do you as individual in order to prevent your device from being detected? Oh, I always use the, oh my god, now I forget the virtual machine to do my investigations, because now I work at OSINT for organization in US. We investigate missing children, or cold case kidnapping, runaway for teenagers and children in US. And we make very deep investigations in this case. I always use a virtual machine to make my investigations, because sometimes we need to check some dark web websites, and I have one machine, one computer just for my investigations, and I use a virtual machine. Let's see. Other thing, yeah, Vanilla, I think you make a very good question. One advice, guys, I think we never be successful alone. I always make very good contacts with people for other countries. And LinkedIn, like I always say, I'm very active there. Try to build your background, because these are gonna help it, and gonna help in the investigations. Try to make connections with law enforcement for different countries, lawyers, and don't have afraid to ask help. Other things, we have many legal websites. It's possible we send email to ask something, not directly about any case. Like we have in Brazil, the website Jus Brasil. When you have a lot of cases there, they don't give a specific information about one case, but have a lot of cases there. Like it's like a data resource for people who want to know about decisions and the court in Brazil. I think having different countries the same service. Don't be afraid to send email and ask something. Don't be afraid to make connections and ask for help in something. It's a very important when you're OSINT. Don't think you're gonna be successful alone. Nobody will be successful alone. You always will need some help for something. Start to make connections in LinkedIn. I think it's a very good other thing. Try to put in these websites. You think someone say, oh, go and check something in Turkey in this website. Look and put in these files about these websites. Ask for other people for that countries. It's my advice. Like I have people for different countries, then I really ask help sometimes. Because like if you have any case in borders and have a conflict, sometimes we don't have the real data about. I go and talk with someone from both sides to understand the situation. Ask for help. Ask the websites you need to go. Ask for the news you need to check. I think it's a very important. What's your take on grooming? Oh yeah. The question about the grooming gangs, it's something we start to follow. Like I give you the example now about they start to bring teenagers and children for Africa to use in the drugs distribution here in European Union. These information. It's not in all the media, but because I'm start to see in some cases in different countries when the police go there and get the people involved, the most of the times they are teenagers, and these give me a red flag about the situation. Was why I'm start to investigate, and then I'm start to talk with someone for Europol, and it's a huge problem. Again, I think it will increase, but we need, like I say, when you start to use these 1-2 hours a week to read the news, to see the things that happen, you will start to have red flags, and you start to have your bank the data for the future. We have start with this problem now here in European countries to grooming very young people to work with drugs. And we need to know all the picture. Like sometimes people go, oh, they need to be incarcerated and everything. But these kids were grooming for gangs, came to Africa from here just to work in crime. It's why it's so important, like I say, you understand the situation. Now we need to check what's happened in Africa. How is the political situation there? Why these people came here? How is the situation for these teenagers? To prevent the things in the future, it's to know about the things now. Like I always say, red flag in the news or the laws, start to make your file about the situations to help in the investigations. We always have something. Okay, maybe someone asked about the names. Guys, I'm not good with the names, but if someone wants to know the virtual machine I use, please just send me an email, okay? Question from where to start becoming. Yeah, Richard asked something very good to when you deal with very sensitive investigations. Like I say, it's very important to understand when you go to decide or report anything. It's impossible we don't have bias, but it's very important we overcome that and make a behavior analysis, really risk assessment about the situation when we go to do the report in OSINT. When it's sensitive investigations, be careful the way you share the information, okay, guys? In reports, never put in something like who involved child. Don't screenshot anything without verify if it's true or not, okay? Sensitive investigations needs to be very careful. Always check the information you go to share, okay? And always use the logical thought, not just the emotion thought when you go to report. It's important to understand. It's important you use your gut for the investigation, but try to have a step away to look at the things. In sensitive investigations, I always try to leave my heart outside, okay? Because as a judge in the past, I really deal with very, very hard investigations with child sexual exploitation, pedophiles. The most important is to be straight away in the report. Always check the information in one more than source, and try to avoid to be emotion. I know it's impossible. We don't feel anything, but like I say, it's important to analyze the things you have. Always be accurate about the things you put in the report and you investigate. It's why it's so important to understand the whole picture. why it's so important to have this time every week to know more. Okay. Okay. Okay, someone asked, I think, about my job now to help to find missing person in US. If you want to email me for us change idea to about this job, please, I'm here to answer your questions. I'm very happy to help you guys. Like I say, I think it's we never work alone. Okay, I learn very soon in my life and the court than I need to other people. And I think if you have a good skills to help with this, please send me an email. I'm working. I work with many organizations. I work one with EI to protect kids against the EI. I have this one. Then I work to help to find missing kids. I have my work. Oh yeah, someone asked. I work in the National Children Task Force. Yeah, Protection Task Force. I think it's about 8 months. I'm with them. How does one get involved? Okay. I don't know. I think more the questions about something else, but I go answer everyone. Okay. Okay. I always use VPN. Okay, guys. Someone asked me. Always make a very SecPub accounts. Okay, never use your personal account. Advice, because I work a lot in investigations with try to find teenagers and children. The SecPub accounts, you need always put in something. Okay, don't leave without anything because it's very suspicious. Okay, try to follow people, famous people. Always use this account. Okay, don't leave like create and never use, because sometimes it's difficult to investigate, because in some case I need to have not in the missing person, but in other organizations that I work, sometimes I'm start to talk with the person if I'm gonna help like to get some pedophiles. I interact with these pedophiles with my SecPub accounts. That's why it's important move these accounts. Let me see if I ask. Sometimes I use dark web, depend the case. Like when I work in some cases for pedophiles, I need to dig in the dark web. But in some cases, no. Depends. Like if it's a case, and the most companies I work I don't use dark web. But in this job, then I help to get pedophiles into today. I use.
So thanks, Bianca. I think we should now wrap up the event. So yeah, like so. Thank you for joining us and giving us your valuable time. And your presentation was just like amazing. So like people will continue with Q&A. So I think it's better we should wrap up now. Like, otherwise, we will be late on time. So
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for joining. So, okay, let's move on to the small closing ceremony. So, hello everyone. As we come to the end of Washington 2025, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to each and every one of you who have joined us from around the world over the last 2 days, like that is today and yesterday. We have seen incredible talks, live demos, and inspiring discussions that showcase the true power of Ocean community. The event wouldn't have been possible without our amazing speakers who shared their experience and insights so generously, and to our sponsors, especially Tovic, for their support in making this season a reality. Big thank you to everyone working behind the scenes. So that is our moderators, volunteering team, and our one organizing team for keeping everything running very smoothly. Most importantly, thank you to all of our attendees for your energy, your curiosity, and your commitments to learning and collaboration. OceanCon was built to bring the community together, and this week we proved